so excited.
It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Hockey tonight at Rogers Place. Your Edmonton Oilers taking on the San Jose Sharks. Can the Oilers finally win 3 consecutive games? They are 27-19-8 on the season. The Sharks are 27-21-3. Definitely making noise to get back into the playoffs for the first time in several years. The Oilers hold down second in the Pacific Division, 1 point back of Vegas, 3 points ahead of Anaheim, and 5 points ahead of the San Jose Sharks, who currently occupy the second and final wildcard position in the Western Conference. Of course, some of the highest scoring players in the National Hockey League expected to take part in this game. Connor McDavid from your Edmonton Oilers, 92 points. He is number 1. Macklin Celebrini from San Jose, he is number 4 with 78. And Leon Draisaitl is 5th in the NHL in scoring in 74 points. So could be a fun showdown tonight, and maybe a first-round playoff matchup, depending on how things go. I guess there are a few possibilities for that, but we got to put that back on the table. I am Reed Wilkins. I'm in for Dustin Nielson today. Of course, this is Two Guys and a Goalie. Joaquin Gage is here in the EST main studio.
Hi, Reed.
You're the goalie.
I guess so, yeah.
What do you have on your shirt? No, the text, not the crumbs.
It's
like, well, it's a certain barbecue
going for a
sauce
sample.
I spilled this morning.
It's a snack.
Yeah, that's lunch. It was one of the shirts that was lying around here and no one took it, so I grabbed it.
Well, that's a work shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, I never saw that. Well,
it's my favorite price, a free $99.
That's very good. And of course, Matt Kassian joining us from his home studio. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, fellas. A little headache today. I don't know if I might be dehydrated, but trying to drink some water.
Yeah, you got to stay hydrated.
Do you?
But I'm good.
Do you have in your house, Cass? Do you got the humidifier like with the built into the furnace going all the time? Like, do you set it?
Yeah, I don't think it's great though. It's not like a super fancy, high quality one. So I think it kind of works.
Because just what I did, well, I changed the filter in my furnace, which I hadn't done. I went past like the 3-month thing, and it looked terrible. Having a dog doesn't help. But then I put a couple humidifiers in my room because I was waking up with headaches too, and now I don't. So I think it was just, it gets dry the winter, dehydration. So yeah, because I can't drink too much water before bed, or else I'm up every 2 hours.
You got to pee all the time. Yeah. Like, be more like Trev. He only pees once a week.
I know that camel.
Allegedly.
Well, he's got that big hump on his back.
Yeah. He's storing all his water. That's very true. All right. Hope everybody's having a great day. Great lunch hour here. Thanks for joining us. Two Guys and a Goalie, of course, is presented by GS Construction. They are hiring now. GS is looking for experienced pipe layers, operators, topmen, and superintendents. You can visit gsconstruction.ca. 7 o'clock game, Oilers and Sharks. Of course, we have continuing coverage throughout the day here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Plus, at 6 o'clock, Tom Gazzola will rule the stream with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show to get this one set up, which could be an entertaining game. Now, recently, it's not been an entertaining matchup for fans of the San Jose Sharks and their players. I mean, things have changed over the years, the ebb and flow of the NHL. I mean, there were a couple of years they were both decent teams. They played in the first round back in 2017. Generally in that era, the decade of darkness era for the Oilers, San Jose was a cup contending team and won the majority of the matchups with the Oilers. That has shifted. The Oilers have won 6 consecutive games against the San Jose Sharks, including 3-0, 5-0, 9-2. There was one game that went to overtime. The Oilers have won 15 of the last 17 games against the Sharks. 4 of those did go to overtime. So I guess San Jose has scraped out 8 out of a possible 34 points. But yeah, we've seen 3-0, 5-2, 7-1, 6-1. Some of these have spun out of control in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. I would think that trend is probably ending with the way things are going for the San Jose Sharks. Are they? And we've seen Anaheim doing better. Like, are they? And then maybe we'll all get a better sense after tonight and how they play once the games get a little heavier here in the final third of the season. But let's start with you, Gage. Are they? Do we dare use the word legit? And I'm not talking about a Stanley Cup contender yet, but they're legit. They're now a tough out again.
I think they've obviously improved. Like, they've become a better team. But I think there's something to you look at teams' past performance, even the year prior, and sometimes, and I mean, look, you just mentioned the lopsided scores against the Edmonton Oilers over the last few years. I think part of it is, we're just playing the San Jose Sharks again, or we're playing the Anaheim Ducks. I'm just those two teams. But there's sometimes you're not at your best. You think we've got these are easy 2 points. Are they a better team? Yes. Are they better than their record shows? I think they just catch a lot of teams off guard because they're so used to having their way with the San Jose Sharks. We'll see how this is always a good measuring stick, these last 30 to some games remaining in the season, because now they're not going to really catch anyone off guard. There's tape. Their record shows that this is a competitive team. So now you'll really kind of find out, I think, what this team is made of. I'm really looking forward to tonight's game. I want to see Celebrini. Like, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks really surprised me with the way they played. They're way ahead of what I thought they were. So by all accounts, the San Jose Sharks play the similar type of style with up-tempo. Probably they give up a lot, but Askarof's in net tonight for the San Jose Sharks. I like the way he plays. So there's a lot of cool things to keep your eye on this evening.
All right. Askarof's going to be in net. Ingram is going to be the starter for the Edmonton Oilers. Here's how we expect the Edmonton Oilers to be deployed. Now, there is a question mark here, but I'll get there when we get to the defense. Up front should look like this. McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Kapanen. Szymanski with Savoy and Roslovic. Lazar with Frederick and Janmark. Ekholm skated. Optional morning skate. Still described as day-to-day by head coach Chris Knobloch. So, if he plays, we can expect Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Wallman, Stastny, Emerson. If he doesn't play, then do you think it's Nurse, Bouchard, Stastny, Emerson, Wallman, Regula? Or do they just flip him around and see how Regula plays?
I guess who's played most with Bouchard other than Ekholm? Is it Nurse? Is it Wallman?
It hasn't been. They have done a little bit. I would guess probably Nurse off the top of my head, but it's rarely been anybody else. Yeah,
it's rarely been great when they have too.
Yeah,
like they haven't been great pairing together.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way it'll go. Is it the 3-goal flu? What's going around these days? Like, that's crazy.
You get a hat trick, you can't play. Well, and I listened to the Knobloch availability today. He kind of referenced to just being careful with Ekholm because they know what happened last year. Maybe for him not being in the Olympics will be a good thing.
Yeah.
Nothing can happen to you if you're not playing games. So anyway, that's the one question mark for the Oilers tonight. San Jose's as you guys know, I've called the Oilers a top-heavy team a lot this season. Well, how about this? Celebrini, 78 points. Next leading scorer, Will Smith, 36 points.
Yeah.
Then you got Toffoli at 35, Wenberg at 35. So, this kid, drives the offense. He's plus 14. I mean, we've talked about, and I still refer to plus minus. I realize, you got to look at things as a whole, but I mean, we've talked about, Mangiapane's a big minus. Regula's a pretty big minus. And there are some other guys who are minus on the Oilers, but not by a ton. I mean, they got a minus 13, a minus 24, a minus 11, a minus 11, a minus 15, a minus 10. Like this is really Celebrini's team. He plays 21.05 per game, and as we said, basically double the point total. Now, Will Smith hasn't played every game, but still, I mean, the total is what it is. I was interested, guys, in Cass, start with you if you want to react to this. I was interested yesterday listening to Nugent Hopkins and McDavid, and they both complimented his hockey IQ, and I think it was Nuge who went through some pretty hard growing pains himself about how he's already able to play a pretty hard and competitive game. Like sometimes you see with younger players, even high-end younger players, there's nights where they're just overwhelmed. They're out-savvied or they're out-muscled. And Nuge said Celebrini's fitting into this pretty well already.
Yeah, and he seems to have taken up that role. I don't want to say easily. He's worked for it, and he continues to work for it. But it hasn't, at least this year, necessarily had the same growing pains that we at times come to expect from young players. I mean, he's single-handedly the reason that they are where they are. I thought it was going to be another gong show in San Jose this year. Like, I thought they were going to be very, very poor, going to be in the lottery running again. And then I'm like, okay, then they get one more guy. Celebrini's got another year, and then they start the ascension back into the ranks. But Celebrini has just been fantastic. It definitely exceeded my expectations so far. So it's impressive. I mean, it takes a certain type of mentality for, I think, a young player to be able to step in and do that. Like, you can't get wrapped up. Like, and the reason it's difficult to balance is because, and Gager, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, or if you disagree, and people may disagree, and that's fine. But I think for young guys, it usually goes one of two ways when they're highly touted. They're either come in and they're really, really arrogant. They think they're going to be the best. They think it's going to be easy. They think everything's just going to happen. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, these guys aren't junior, and I'm playing against men that have been doing this for a long time. And oh my goodness, this is way harder than I thought it was going to be. And they just kind of fall apart that way. Now on the other end, they come in and they're way too timid. Right? Like, so there's like a forced timidity because they come in with way too much confidence and they think it's going to be easy, and they don't necessarily work for it or fight for it as much, or it takes them some time to build into that. Then the flip side, that comes in with almost too much respect, where they don't respect their actual abilities and their capacity. And it's like the, passing it off to, the other guys need to do that. So it's not going to be on me. I got to kind of come in here and figure things out a little bit. Now, the healthy balance between that is guys that know they don't know everything, but they're like, well, I deserve to be here. I'm really good, but I still have to work for it. And if that switch can flip right away, then sometimes you see those young players step in and have a lot of success. And I think that's what we've seen with him. Like, he works really, really hard. He plays really, really aggressive. He absolutely battles and is incredibly highly skilled. So he's found that really good balance to me of not coming in timid, but not coming in just thinking he's going to blow the lid off. And then all of a sudden, because he went in kind of with that middle balanced approach to it, he's found a way to have a ton of success. Gage, what do you think? Because I could be wrong. Call me a liar.
You're right. You're dead on with. I mean, we both played with guys with tremendous amounts of talent, but they have that timid side of them. They're not willing to show it. They're I don't know what. It takes a while for them to come out of their shell, and then you have the super arrogant ones that that I think almost helps in a way, but they do need their reins pulled back at times. Now, I've watched Celebrini a handful of times this year, and this is on and off the ice with interviews, and he is, from what I've seen, a very humble guy off the ice, right? It's like he's kind of a deer in the headlights, and just he's amazed of the whole situation of everything, which is great. But when you watch him play, it's amazing that he's figured out already with his second year on what makes him a successful hockey player shift in and shift out. When I do watch him, he does have reminds me a little bit of Sidney Crosby when he was younger, right? He's that quick speed, the vision. He's not McDavid, right? But I think a comparison closer to him would be Sidney Crosby. His hockey IQ. But the one thing that showed me last year that this guy was a real player, because I was at one of the games, and after the whistle, Leon kind of gave him a shot, and this is a first-year guy. He turns around, sees it's Leon, and doesn't hesitate and whacks Leon right on the wrist. And he's not giving an inch to anyone. I don't care who you are. So yeah, he's humble off the ice, but there's a dog in Macklin Celebrini, and that whole night he went up against Leon Draisaitl, and one of the best defensive performances against a superstar that I had seen up to that point live. So, and that's another thing. He plays both sides of the puck really, really well. He's a fantastic hockey player. If the San Jose Sharks make the playoffs, it's a no-brainer that he wins the Hart Trophy.
I was talking about that yesterday and then this morning a bit with the guys. You never know how people are going to vote, and we know what it's like. The people who vote, Belichick. Well, hey, we had fun with that. We had fun with that on my show. But in hockey calls it the most valuable to his team, and sometimes guys on teams who don't make the playoffs are excluded. I mean, I think McDavid suffered from that a couple of times, but that's a really good point. Like I mentioned, those top 5 leading scorers. Yeah. McDavid's having a great year. I don't know if it would happen this year, but I think sometimes he and Draisaitl maybe, same team. Do I want to vote to put 2 guys on the same team on my ballot? McKinnon is on a team that might lose like 14 games in regulation. So voters could say, wow, they were pretty good anyway. I know that's oversimplifying it. But I think that's a good point, Gager. If he leads his team by that many points, like somebody just texted in. And by the way, feel free to text us anytime 780-218-9999. Eden says, "Hey boys, the Sharks are one Celebrini cold streak away from falling out of the playoffs. Their goal differential is -15." Fair point, but I mean, you could also make that argument. Any team, if they lost their best player, they'd suffer. I mean, we saw the Oilers without Draisaitl for a few games. They scored 11 goals, and then the next game it was like, wow, they're really missing Draisaitl. So it does get you after a while. Like, do you think? I think he's going to be a finalist. Cass, Celebrini to me might even be a Hart finalist, even if they just miss the playoffs.
He should be. I mean, it's hard for me because in my brain, I know it says most valuable and I know how people vote and you walk through it. I like the CFL's way of doing it, right? The most outstanding player. Like to me I hear most valuable. To me, it's or there's difference rather between most valuable and most outstanding. Most people vote for the most outstanding. Like that's when they're voting out, they're voting for the most outstanding. That's how most people vote for it, where it's like, well, but it's most valuable, which is most valuable to their team. And even if they don't make the playoffs, you want to tell me that San Jose is anywhere close to having a sniff without him in the lineup? No, they're not. And you could make an argument that, okay, well, if Connor was out all year, you got Leon. And for the Colorado Avalanche, McKinnon's a big part of that, but they got Makar. And they have, a fantastic team. And so it's like, well, yeah, these guys are maybe the most outstanding in McDavid or Draisaitl or McKinnon or Makar. But you can't tell me that they have meant more to their team's success this year than Macklin Celebrini. And that's where I go, to me, he should be I don't want to say he's a shoo-in. He wouldn't be, but I mean, he probably gets my vote right now. If I had a vote, I don't have one, so I can't. Someday maybe, but yeah, whatever. I'm too biased and too much, whatever. I don't care. But he would get mine. I think it's likely that if they don't make the playoffs, he doesn't get it. If they make the playoffs, he's probably going to get it. Now, if they don't make the playoffs he's still going to get voted for. He'll have some tallies. He'll have some first place. He'll have some second. He'll have some third, but he's not going to win it, which to me may be a little bit disappointing because, in my opinion, he's the most valuable player right now.
You know, one thing that's always we bring up when discussions of hardware at the end of the year, and it is situational, I think, where guys play too. So, Cass and Reed, if Celebrini plays on the East Coast, and it's the same thing, like he's 40 points ahead of the closest.
If he played in Toronto,
let's do.
Toronto was as bad. If Toronto was as bad as San Jose, points like last year, if Toronto was as bad as San Jose, and there's the biggest points gap between, Celebrini and the next guy on the team, what do you think happens?
Well, and they don't make the playoffs.
And they don't make the playoffs. Yeah.
What do you think happens?
Oh, if it was Toronto, he gets voted in without question.
He wins the heart, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Reed?
Just a good point here from Tate texting in, comparing this to the year Taylor Hall won the heart for the Devils.
Yeah.
He had, I can't remember what percentage of his team's points that he had. They got into the postseason.
I think it was comparable.
Yeah, it was probably comparable. I can't remember the exact total. Yeah, I get the whole. Well, Toronto's a whole other story. Now, the voters are spread around the National Hockey League, right? As much as I get, I always kind of try to look at this as balanced as possible. I get nobody in Manhattan, none of these New York Post guys are smoking cigars at their desk till 2 a.m. to watch the San Jose Sharks. I get that. But there are 3 teams in California. There's a team in Seattle. Mm-hmm. There's a team in Vancouver. So that's 5 teams in that time zone. Or I guess Vegas is in that time. I think they're one of the ones that go back and forth. Utah's, Denver, us, Calgary are in the Mountain time zone. So there is almost a third of the league that could quite easily watch this kid. Now, then there are the national people who vote. Yes, a lot of them might be based in the East. I get it. But yeah, market-wise, for sure, if he were a Ranger... probably anybody. If Celebrini were on any Canadian team doing what he's doing, Toronto, maybe next level. Certainly, if he were a Blackhawk or a Red Wing, probably there'd be even a little more hype around him. Mm-hmm. So, sure, is he going to be hurt by being a Shark? I don't know. These voting things are weird, right? Because they can get a little bit of momentum to them. People start talking about him. I don't vote. I probably never will. I don't care to. Yeah. From talking to people who do, the men and women who do it, in my mind, do it right, watch as much as they can, but will go up to other players on other teams, and say, hey, I got to vote. Who's really driving it? What are you hearing? You're in this team's division. You played them 4 times. Or is there a player that you think is not getting the attention that he deserves? But Cass makes a good point too. We call it valuable. Here's the thing: if some year there was a guy that got 180 points and his team finished 29th, well, how valuable is he? They missed the playoffs, but that's an outstanding season. That should be recognized with a Hart Trophy. I don't know if I answered your question, Gager. I just kind of talked.
No, close enough. It was interesting, and I enjoyed listening to it, so it was good.
All right. 780-218-9999. Andrew, the accountant, to circle back to possible pairings. So this is a good point. He goes, I would expect Wallman with Bush. That's what they ran mostly in the playoffs when Ekholm moves out. So, yeah, that could be a pairing as well. Again, we'll see about Ekholm tonight. Talking about some of the younger talent in the league, because I think, we're now at the stage we don't talk about McDavid as, he's in the middle of his career, ish. So I just did a quick sort. I went under 23. Remember that World Cup? Didn't they have the U23 team? The North American team. That
was great.
McDavid and Matthews and all those other guys. So Celebrini is up there. Who else do we have? Oh, Wyatt Johnston is up there. He's still under 23. Lane Hudson. Bedard is obviously up there. It's kind of funny. I feel there's almost this Bedard's not that good. Well, okay, maybe he's not as good as Celebrini. Still around a point a game.
Still really good.
Over a point a game. Yeah. Okay, so how about these Ducks that are all in the top top 8 under 23 scoring. Gauthier, Carlson, who was out the other night, and that Seneca. He's good.
He's really good.
He lit up the Flame. I mean, they should have lost to Calgary. They got outshot horribly. And he's just like, well, I guess I'll score 3. And then I thought he was super dangerous against the Oilers. So like it's a promising next way. Like Will Smith is up there. Schaefer, obviously. Demidov. I'm just looking at some guys. That Ryan Leonard on the Caps.
Right.
Still a young guy. So now we can kind of talk about this. This is how we talked about McDavid and Matthews sort of in 2018. Now there's this next wave of guys, and most of these teams I mentioned, are teams that are trying to get back to where they were or get back into it after being out of it for a long time. Islanders, Ducks, Sharks, even Canadians. I know they went to the Cup final a few years ago, but so we're seeing some guys trying to push their teams back to prominence.
It's not a complete changing of the guard with the young talent, because there's still the guys at the top still have a lot of runway. I mean, we look at Sidney Crosby. He's 38 years old and he's still doing it at his age. So, but yeah, there's a definite sign of the teams that have been from on the outside looking in the playoff picture and usually not playing meaningful games over into March at least, and now you're going to see a handful of teams in the mix, which really makes this trade deadline probably the most interesting, I think, that we've had in years. Because are you a seller? Are you a buyer? What does that do to your fan base if you start, they've given up, we're reloading here, or we're rebuilding? So I like it. I like the fact that these guys that maybe don't have that experience, that have been done at Christmas time in years past, that could actually be playing games where we really need these 2 points if we want to make the playoffs, which makes you a better player. I love it.
All right. So game coming up at 7:00. Sharks and Oilers. They still got to play each other 4 times this season. The Sharks on the road are 13-12. The Oilers at home are 14-8-4. What is this, game 6 of the 8-game homestand for the Oilers? They're 3-2. I always like to look at the special teams. The Oilers power play remains first in the NHL at a measly 31.8. Well, they were over 34.
I know.
The Sharks power play right in the middle, 15th, 79.3. The Sharks PK, not great, 77.7%. The Sharks power play, also, what am I doing here? No, I gave wrong stats. The Oilers PK is in the middle. They're the one that's 15th. The Sharks are 24th, and the Sharks power play is 16th. We have seen the Oilers power play, or PK, have some tough games against, the other night. Anaheim's power play wasn't great, and Granlund came in and said, we'll see about that. So anyway, that's part of the story for tonight. Again, Ekholm, we're not sure day to day. I don't know if he's going to go tonight. So Gager brought up something interesting to me, Cass. We were getting ready for the show here. We actually have tried to plan something. So Gager said, okay, Reed, we got to ask Cass this. Is the Pacific Division this piddly little division in the NHL that's just going to determine a sacrificial lamb for the Central Division winner in the playoffs? Or are we making that assumption that the division isn't good because teams like Anaheim and San Jose are turning into decent teams? Like maybe we're not giving them enough credit. Maybe the fact that, LA is still just outside of the playoff cut line and Seattle is just outside of the playoff cut line. Like maybe this division is deeper and a little stronger than we're giving it credit for.
Oh, that's a tough one, because yes and no. Yes and no, because I think as a whole, it's weak comparatively. I mean, this Central is, we can't look at the Central and say if Colorado was in the Pacific, they wouldn't be up top. If Minnesota wasn't in the Pacific, they would be atop. And not from a point standpoint, but just from a quality of play standpoint. If Dallas was in the Pacific, they would be on top. Points wise, play wise, everything wise. So it's hard to look at it and to say, wow, we're being too hard on the Pacific Division. Now that's made for more parity where maybe Anaheim can sneak in. But part of that issue is Edmonton hasn't been, or at the start of the year, Edmonton wasn't nearly as good as they should have been. They struggled to start the year. And Vegas has also had their ups and downs. Vegas, now, Vegas 2 games in hand on Edmonton, they win those 2. They're a little bit closer to some of those central teams. And Dallas or Vegas is still a really good team. And so that's we're not being too harsh on them because, do we really think San Jose would beat Dallas, Minnesota, or Colorado in a series? Or Anaheim? Or LA? Do you guys legitimately think that? Probably not. Now, maybe they do. Of course, weird things happen, but probably not. Now, if we look at the flip side, is if Edmonton's firing on all cylinders or Vegas is firing on all cylinders, yeah, any one of those teams could beat Colorado or Minnesota or Dallas. Those would be good series, difficult series, fun series even. And that's the yes side. Well, maybe we do disrespect the Pacific Division a little bit because there's still some really good things. But I don't know, guys. To me, it is a little bit of the punching bag still. It is this year. It's not as strong as the other divisions. And that's beneficial to the Edmonton Oilers, who struggled mightily at the start of the year.
Yeah, I think it went through my mind just because of watching the Ducks the other night, right? That's a different team than what we've seen. I think it's a little bit of both. The top end teams, like you said, Cass, aren't playing at their best like they were in years past. Like the Vegas, so you could say the Oilers and the LA Kings. But I just think they might have dropped a little bit their regular season play. But I do think that these teams that were, the trips down to California weren't just trips to go pick up a few points on Rodeo Drive and come on home, right? It's a little bit different now. So I think you could say it's a little bit of both. The reason why people talk about the Pacific as not as strong in years past, but I think that partly is because of the play of these other teams.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying, Gager. I mean, it's just it took. I feel it took a couple years because, sometimes I would do an interview with another market. They'd want to have me on in LA or Calgary or whatever. And I know the Oilers made the playoffs, missed, and then made now they haven't missed the playoffs since 2020. I did feel like sometimes, even though there was the recognition of McDavid, there was almost like this disbelief. It's like, okay, well, the Oilers can't actually be that good, right? And I'd be like, well, actually, they're not perfect, but they do have, this is good. They do have this player besides McDavid and Draisaitl. So I think it does, it takes people's brains sometimes a moment to shift, because in sports you're like, okay, good, suck, and then that's in your head for a few years, and then you got to shift it to oh yeah, they probably won't beat San Jose 9-2 tonight. That I remember that game, they beat them 9-1 or 9-2. They probably called it off a little bit in that game, right? So I get what you're saying. I do think overall, though, if Anaheim might make the playoffs. Right now, they're second last defensively in the league. Mm-hmm. So to me, if a team can get in through a division with that type of a damning stat, then that's probably an indication of a little weakness. The Oilers have not grabbed the bull by the horns like they have the last few years. And even Vegas to some extent, though. I think a lot of Vegas, I think they have a terrible overtime or shootout record. But it's a good discussion. And really, for 4 or 5 months from now, when the Stanley Cup is handed out, no one's really gonna remember it too much. But that's an interesting discussion to have. But it's interesting seeing some of these younger players, the Celebrinis, the guys on the Ducks we talked about, surge forward and try to make some noise in the standings. All right, so the game's coming up at 7:00. Let's do I want to do hired or fired. I've prepared some notes, as in I jotted down 3 words for each.
Right.
Hired or fired for GS Construction. For over 50 years, GS Construction has been proud to serve our communities and work alongside incredible people. Every member of the team has their own story, but they all share one thing in common, a passion for the work we do. Visit gsconstruction.ca today. All right, you're at a slight disadvantage, Cass, because I did mention this to Gager to see how he would react, and I thought, okay, I liked how he reacted. We'll do it. Hire it or fire it. The Toronto Maple Leafs players know how Berube hurt his head. Because all he said at the news conference was embarrassing exercise, weight, mishap. Does he tell the guys if there's a casual, and well, there aren't a lot of casual happy moments in Toronto. Didn't they go winless on a homestand here?
Yeah.
But did the players say, like, come on, coach, you got to tell us? Hire it or fire it. The Leafs players know how Berube got the big scar on his forehead, the big stitches.
Hire it. Somebody's ratting that out for sure. They have to know. They got to know. They have to. We'll probably see Nylander in the press box with a little sign, and he'll just be flipping the bird, holding up the sign. And that's how we'll find out. Someone's going to rat it out. They have to.
I mean, like the first thing that went through my head is they're losing. What better way for a guy to show leadership on the team? Austin Matthews goes into the coach's room, goes, "Hey, Chief, the team needs to know what happened. Come into the room and tell us the story. Just get a little levity with everything." Yeah, I'm hiring it for sure. You have to tell the players, because then it's up for speculation, right? You don't know what's going on. Maybe you got jumped by rabid fans.
Well, Jay was saying he thinks it was a plate or like a, what do they call it, the kettle?
Oh, a dumbbell or something probably dropped it on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, where did it happen? Did it happen in the Leafs? It must have happened in the Leafs training room, right?
I would assume so. I don't think he said exactly, because what he said, exercise mishap, embarrassing. And I think he kind of wanted to leave it at that.
I mean, if it was at Planet Fitness, we'd probably have video at this point, wouldn't we?
I'm telling you, man, it will come out. It will. It has to. It's going to. Someone's going to rat it out. Someone's going to find a clip. Someone's going to, it will, we will know. We will find the truth, and we can handle this truth. This truth we can handle. We can handle this truth. But it will.
It's a
will
unique scar, though. This is where.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
I don't know. I was watching. It's funny. Just the other day, like CSI, and they were doing the whole thing with someone got hit in the head with something, and they were using different objects to try to mimic the scar or the indent in the person's head. So maybe we should start looking at weights and see what that actually looks like.
Maybe. Deskra 9013 is in the nasty chat. It says Berube was donating his hair to Matthews for an off-season transplant.
Oh my goodness.
Which is funny and gives me an idea. So how much time? We got 15, 20 minutes left.
Yeah, we got time.
Let's
do whatever you want.
We got time. I want to hear nasty chat, text line, whatever. I want to hear your best theories. Yeah. Give us your best theories. Send them in, because someone's going to be right, and it's going to be outlandish, and it's going to be great. So send us your best theories. Text in, please. Message in the nasty chat. We want to hear them, and we'll get to some of them for sure.
Well, like Andy already put in there. Maybe someone from the Toronto media threw a typewriter at Berube.
There you go.
Yeah, somebody's still using the big old Underwood typewriter. So that's a good one, Cass. Yeah, and obviously, wrong answers or creativity is awarded here. Yeah.
He's trying to do some box jumps, maybe, and slipped. You see that, and then
Dr. John, lobotomy gone wrong. Berube needed one, having to watch Matthews play this season. He did that a ha-ha.
Oh.
There's nothing oil country. Well, there are things oil country likes better than watching the Leafs suffer, but not many things.
No.
I mean, the number one thing oil country would like is an Oilers championship, but Leafs misery is up there.
I don't think, like, sometimes you feel bad for a team as it goes. Like, I kind of feel bad for the Winnipeg Jets, even though they've been successful, right? I'm like, oh, that sucks for that. But for the Leafs, I find I enjoy the misery of their fans more than anything else. Like, I like that they're not doing well. I don't know why. It's not great, but maybe I'm just not a good person.
No, I think it's okay. I mean, that's part of sports, right? Is having
Well,
a lot of sports fandom is irrational.
Yeah.
Not just the love, the hatred can be irrational as well.
I hate the arrogance when things are going well. That's the problem. There's no balance.
Right.
That's probably it.
Yeah. Well, this is good. Somebody putting into, we talked about the schedule. B-Dog says, and this is a fair point too, it all balances out. Remember the early 2010s, the Oilers had to compete with 3 juggernaut California teams, plus the Canucks. Yeah. I mean, there is the ebb and flow. And stuff's not, I mean, I cheer for the Seahawks, and I said, well, like for them to get to the Super Bowl, they had to win the division in the regular season, and then they had to win the division again in the playoffs.
Yeah,
like the best division in the league. So, yeah, stuff goes like that. Andy says Berube tripped and fell into the Leafs' empty trophy cabinet. Oh,
nice.
My goodness.
That's a good one.
Oh, my. That is clever.
Ouch.
Well, I'm glad you put that out there, Cass. I'm sure we will. He did a keg stand and fell. That's Tay chiming in again. Baggio, he thinks he is Loki and put in the horns. My goodness.
Reverse.
Yeah, well, he's trying to create the illusion of the Leafs being a good team.
Right.
There you go.
Oh my. Okay. These are coming in hot and heavy now. We'll see a few more getting in. Let's circle back to that. How did Berube get the injury? Creative and wrong answers encouraged. Thanks to Cass's idea. I have another hire it or fire it. So tonight, Detroit plays Washington. So Patrick Kane can pass Modano for the most points by an American-born player. Mm-hmm. Now, I had to double-check this. Don't forget, Brett Hull was born in Belleville. But when you sort the stats on NHL.com, he's under American citizenship, right? So Brett Hull, 1391. Modano and Kane, 1374. Housley, over 1,200 points. Roenick, over 1,200 points. Hired or fired? Patrick Kane is the best American-born player of all time. Best American. We'll include Brett Hull. Okay. Best American player of all time.
I'm going to hire it. The hardware alone, the way he played the game is so dynamic, so much fun to watch. Had the bravado too. He was just a fantastic player, and that's not saying like Modano was just unbelievable, but I just think he was Patrick Kane was a very, very unique hockey player. Yeah, hire it.
I probably got to hire it. I probably got to hire it. I think he is the best. Like if I really put he's got to be the best. Now, if we go points wise, like Modano played in the clutch and grab era, guys, and he put up a lot of points for that era. Now he played on some pretty good teams, but also teams that played the Ken Hitchcock never allow any kind of offense ever type of teams. So I still gotta hire it. I think he is. Yep, he's the best.
I mean, you've got 11 American players who have accumulated 1,000 points. Doug Weight, one of them. You know, the one guy he's 10th. The one guy I would throw into the mix just because he played defense is Brian Leach.
That's fair.
Sometimes you can just look at the top scorers and say, that's actually the order. Leach was pretty special. I mean, in that era,
even
too.
if you think back and kind of don't even look at the points and watch players just with the eye test, right? Like they did it. They're all different. Just if we're just talking about Leach, Modano, and Kane. Like Kane was, he could take a game and slow it down to his pace or play at high speed. He could obviously Modano with the jersey flapping in the back and blowing past guys. And then Leach just being one of the greatest like defensive quarterbacks. It just some of the stuff he would do is just absolutely it boggles the mind of the skill set of some of these guys. But
I'm with you.
I got to reevaluate No, it's okay. I'm jumping in, but I gotta, I thought about this and I gotta reevaluate now that I thought about this. We're missing somebody we haven't mentioned yet.
Oh, Jesus.
Any guesses?
Goalie?
Nope.
I think I know where he's going with this.
Nope. And it ties into what we were talking about earlier. We haven't talked about Austin Matthews being the greatest American-born player ever yet. And he undoubtedly is because he plays in Toronto. And I have a feeling, if I could put forward my own theory, is that the scar is from Austin Matthews. Berube must have said something about Patrick Kane being the greatest American-born player ever. And Austin Matthews threw something or shot something, because we know he's got the quick release. Austin Matthews, best release in the world. And he hit him in the head with something, maybe an empty can of Bud Light.
Yeah,
maybe something like that.
Rolled around, and created
It's probably his Louis
shape.
Vuitton man purse.
Maybe. Yep. He went up and he closed the zipper on his head.
I gotta say, for me, I'm pretty lucky that I've been going to Oilers games now since 2011, and then when you see things from in the press box, seeing it live, it is different, right? And I remember the first time. I'll use Doughty as an example first, then I'll get to my Kane comment. Doughty, especially early in his career, he would play at the top of the circle in the ozone.
Yeah.
And you're watching live, you can't always see the number, and I'm kind of, getting used to watching live. And I was like, who's that pinching? Who's that? And then you realize Doughty's so fast.
Yeah.
He could play that way in the ozone and then still easily get back to defend a 3-on-2 or a 3-on-3 or whatever. And that thing about Kane, like you guys mentioned it, his ability to control the pace of the game. I don't know, especially if I think of the last 20 years or so since Kane's been in the league, a player who can cut through the high slot, the middle of the ice just inside the blue line, and never get touched. I know McDavid does it, but he does it with his speed. Kane goes into that area of the ice where usually you're asking for trouble and slow down.
Yeah.
And not get hit. And he's not the biggest guy. Leon can sort of go into that area and screw you. You're going to bounce off me. But Kane, he would. I just remember seeing all these times with Chicago in the old building and then at Rogers Place, speed through the neutral zone, down a wing, cut diagonally across the slot of the other team's zone, but go a third of the speed that he was in the neutral zone. But somehow keep his head up, never get touched, really never get close to getting touched. Whereas most players, even good players, they go into that area. Now, Spencer Stastny's turning into Scott Stevens because he's like, here's my chance to do what I used to see guys do in the 90s. But Kane, just that unreal control and awareness and not being intimidated. And in that situation, he almost becomes the intimidator. I'm going to put myself in a situation where a lot of guys would get drilled, but I'm so darn good with the puck and with my vision.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're going to watch me do what I want now.
I think it's a combination of everything with players like that. And Cass, you've probably played with a bunch of guys that just the puck just seemed to be glued to their stick, right? You would have to say that Patrick Kane is probably one of the best stick handlers to ever play the game, but also the hockey IQ of putting himself in a position all the time when and if someone were to come at him, that's probably one of the reasons why you didn't see he could go through so slow, because he would get in a position where I can't go at this guy because he's too good with the puck and he's going to walk right around me. I don't have a proper angle to angle him off. Datsuk used to,
I was just thinking about him. I was going to mention, I was going to say I got to watch them lots from the press box because I never got to play. But the Magic Man was a guy I was thinking of. I'm like, it's very, very similar to that with how good he is with the puck. Just slick.
He would put, it was like playing chess against a guy, and he'd tease you. He would keep the puck, and it was like the snake charmer, right? He might as well have a little flute, and you'd look at it, and then all of a sudden you'd go for it, and then he'd be gone. Just that's why they called him the Magic Man.
Yeah.
But I would put Patrick Kane into one of the greatest stick handlers of all time.
Yeah.
He's up there with Datsuk.
Yeah. That's a good comparison, Datsuk, from that sort of that, because they would have overlapped a little bit.
A little bit,
So,
yeah.
So that's Washington, Detroit, one of many games to keep an eye on tonight. Of course, Oilers and Sharks, the talk of the town here in Edmonton. Just a couple more. I don't know if you see any others you want to get to, Cass, but Cass's question about how did Berube get injured? Bone says, Berube, I just am trying to picture this. That's why I'm giggling. Berube was trying to get the last couple mouthfuls of baked beans out of one of the Costco cans. He's like, hey, guys, tell everybody I was working out. Tell everybody I was working out. And Haji says Carlton the Bear took his frustration out on him. That's right. It's so bad in Toronto. The mascot went after the coach. These are wrong answers and entertaining purposes only replies, everybody, if you're just tuning in. All right. We're into our final 4 or 5 minutes here. So Oilers and Sharks tonight. It's going to be Ingram against Askarov in goal. The Oilers 27-19-8. Sharks 27-21-3. Yes, high-end talent on display. You guys have heard my lamentation. I think Derek Ryan was on with Stoff yesterday, and we know Derek Ryan quite openly took some swipes at past coaches. Mm-hmm. My issue with this bottom six when they don't play a lot, this time I get it. Because I'm like there were times in the past where, Woody or Tippett, whatever, fell into the trap of never really using the bottom six. And I was like, but that guy is pretty good when he's on the ice. I'm still searching for someone in the bottom six to really deserve more ice time, quite frankly. And I know I say that the word deserve isn't always appropriate. So I'm wondering, another storyline for me beyond the high-end guys, are we going to see Szymanski do something, Frederick Szymanski in a different concept, Roslovic in that role make a little bit more of an impact? That's another storyline for me.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just looking at that third line, right, with Roslovic, Szymanski, and Savoy, it's kind of what I think the coaching staff wants to see. Have some consistent offensive zone time, get some good looks. Szymanski should have scored last game. Some more pitching in with that bottom six. I don't know how much you're going to get out of that fourth line. I mean, Lazar has chipped in here or there, but there's not a lot of finish.
Yeah, I like that fourth line right now.
Yeah, I mean,
I like that fourth line right now, and I like them because they're not making mistakes. They haven't put the puck in the net. It'd be great to see them do that, but they're generating more chances than they give up, and they have been steady, and they've been hard to play against. And for your fourth line, I like that. Now, your third line, would like them to find some more offense. I think that's fair to say, hey, we need to figure out a way to get some more offense for the third line. But part of that for me does go back to how, and I read what you're saying in that you're like, okay, it's a little different because it's like when they're out there, they're not playing as well at times. And so we're not as excited to see them out there. And, coaches aren't falling into the trap. Maybe they just haven't earned it. Like if that's what you're saying, correlation or causation, like, well, why haven't they been as good? Haven't they not been as good because they haven't had opportunity, or have they not been good so they haven't got opportunity? Like what's the reason for it? And I still go back to early in the year, that first 20 games, 25 games, maybe even 30 games of the season, where McDavid and Draisaitl's minutes were 22, 23, 24 minutes a night. And as a team, as a whole, they weren't playing well. So you started to see guys, and I know he's not always on the third line, but you started to see guys, or starting to see players like Matt Savoy find their way a little bit more comfortable. Because what is he at? 4 points in the last 6 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, I think. Starting to find their way a little bit, because it's like, well, now they've had a little bit more time to actually play. They've made up those minutes that they didn't have at the start of the season. So I don't know. I kind of lean away from yes, you want more out of the third line. Yes, maybe that third line center, still finding a true center for that third line, an NHL quality guy. Like, sure, great. Give that to me, make the team better. Absolutely. But I don't know. I think they should have played more early in the season, and we would be seeing more benefits from it now.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, too.
I think you also have to look at the fact that Curtis Lazar is the best face-off man on the team, too, right?
Yeah,
so
he's been lights out.
Put a little faith with him, even on defensive zone draws, because most of the time you're starting with the puck anyway, right? So,
yeah, and I haven't mind him in the O-zone. Like, at least he mucks it up and gets the pucks to the net,
he's
usually a couple times a game. All right, Cash, you're on tonight with Tom. 6 o'clock GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Gager has EST afternoons with Hernan Salas coming up 1 to 3. I have my show with Jason Milne from 3 to 6. So we got you covered, getting ready for the game and talking about some other fun stuff throughout the course of the afternoon. Noah Philp did clear waivers, by the way, so the Oilers didn't claim him from Carolina. GS Construction presenting 2 Guys and a Goalie. Talk to you soon.